Hey gang, SpongeBob Prime here, and today we're going to be looking at the Commander deck for March of the Machines, Divine Convocation. Now, just like our last Magic the Gathering video, what we're going to be doing here is having two gameplay test hands with both of the commanders that are standard for the deck. Now, Divine Convocation does come with a third one, but since the third one is a reprint, we're just gonna go with the two new ones that have been made for this deck specifically. So with that out of the way, let us take a look at our two new commanders. So here we are, and there they are. And the first one we're going to take a look at is the base commander, Kosla, the Broken Halo. For 3 blue, red, white, she is a legendary creature, angel ally with 5 power, 4 toughness, with the ability of Convoke. Your creatures can help cast this spell. Each creature you tap while casting the spell pays for 1 generic or 1 mana of that creature's color. She has Flying, Vigilance, and Haste, which is very nice, which means the turn she comes out, you can just smack someone for 5 commander, which is very scary. And whenever you cast another spell that has Convoke, scry 2, then draw a card. Very nice. Taking a look at our second one here, we have Saint Trapped and Rim Corollas. It is a legendary human spirit human, my bad, for blue, red, white, so just 3 converted mana cost. This one's 6, that one's 3. It has, whenever Saint Trapped and Rim Corollas becomes tapped, create a 1/1 red human creature token if this is the first time this ability has resolved this turn. Pretty cool. So this is a tri-stack ability is what I'm seeing here. If it's the second time, create a 1/1 blue spirit creature token with flying. Cool. And if it's the third time, create a 4/4 white angel creature token with flying. Nice. So this could easily just become a 1-man army the turn it is summoned. So that's pretty cool because, and fun fact, Convoke doesn't require the creature to have haste. It is an alternate casting cost. So tapping a creature down, even after it's summoned, it can be done. So whenever you cast a spell whenever you cast a spell that has Convoke, untap Saint Trapped and Rim Corollas. He has 3 power, 4 toughness. So that is pretty cool. Some pretty good stats for both of our commanders. But for our first game, we are going to use Kosla, the Broken Halo, and we're going to put Saint Trapped and Rim Corollas in the deck. So with that out of the way, let us get into our deck. Alrighty, so as I said earlier, that this is no longer just a basic precon. This is a upgraded precon gameplay test hand game. So there's going to be 2 parts to this video. The first one is going to be Kosla, the Broken Halo, and the second one is going to be Saint Trapped and Rim Corollas. So with that out of the way, let us draw our hand of 7 cards and get this thing started. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we're just going to bottom that card because I was not supposed to draw 8. And now we're going to start this off by drawing a card. Cool, cool, cool. So I do not have a turn 1 play here because I have all of this. So what we're going to do is we're going to play a Frostboil Snarl, tapped and pass the turn. So untap, upkeep, nothing will trigger, draw my card. Then I will play Plains for my second turn. Still can't do anything, so the turn shall pass. So I will untap, upkeep, draw. Cool, cool, cool. I will play a Mountain as my land for turn. And then I will do nothing. So we're going to go ahead and draw again. Cool, we're going to play an island, and then we're going to spend 2 blue and a red. We're going to cast Nadir Kraken. It is a 2/3 Kraken for 1 and 2 blue. Whenever you draw a card, you may pay 1. If you do, put a +1/+1 counter on Nadir Kraken and create a 1/1 blue tentacle creature token. That's pretty cool. So now we're just going to pass the turn. So now we're going to untap. Upkeep, nothing will trigger. I shall draw my card for turn. I think I'll go ahead and pay the 1 whenever I draw that card. Putting a +1/+1 counter. Come here. That's a flying counter. Come here. We're going to, nope. On this side, die. There we go, that'll work. Going to put a +1/+1 counter on Nadir Kraken. And then we are going to create a lovely, lovely tentacle token. Alrighty, so what's going to happen here is I'm going to play a Terramorphic Expanse as my land for turn. Then I'm going to tap and sacrifice it, putting it into my graveyard to fetch myself. We will go with a Plains. That will go on the battlefield tapped. And then I have 3 mana left open. Let's see what we're gonna do here. Have a white. Tap the Plains and tap my Frostborn Snarl for a red and my island for a blue. I'm gonna cast Secure the Wastes. X is equal to 2. I'm gonna create 2 1/1 white warrior creature tokens. There is 2 tokens. Hand me my actual token, thank you. That goes there, and I will create 2 of those dudes. Alrighty, so that will be it for this turn. Resolve, go to my graveyard, and then I will go to untap. I will untap, upkeep, nothing will trigger. I will draw. I will pay the 1 to put the +1/+1 counter on that and create another lovely, lovely tentacle. That's a Lego in my dice box. There we are. There are now 2 of those. Now what we're gonna do here is we're gonna spend 1, 2, 3. We're gonna tap 2 of the tentacles and 1 warrior for 3 of the generic cost. And I'm gonna cast Khosla, the Broken Halo. So now I will go to combat, attack them for a total of 9. Since she has vigilance, lovely, lovely stuff. They get dealt 5 damage. And then we will go ahead and pass the turn. So now, on our untap, everything here, upkeep, nothing will trigger. I will draw. I will pay the 1 to get another one of those tentacles and a +1/+1 counter. Does not happen in that order, but it works. So now I'm going to play the island as my land for turn. Okay. Drew an interesting card here. We're going to spend 4 mana. We're going to cast a Nesting Dovehawk. At the beginning of combat on your turn, populate. Create a token that's a copy of another target creature token you control. Whenever a creature token enters the battlefield under your control, put a +1/+1 counter on Nesting Dovehawk. Pretty cool. So now I'm going to go to combat. I'm going to populate the human warrior, and then when it enters the battlefield, Nesting Dovehawk will get a +1/+1 counter. Alright, so now that we're in combat, attack with Khosla, Nadir. So that is a total of 10 damage at the same person. So that's 10 commander. Let's see, 4 + 5 is 9. 5 + 5 is 10. So it's 19 damage in total. So they're down to 21, and I still have plenty of blockers. So that will be this turn. I'll untap. Grab all of my lands here. Upkeep, nothing will trigger. Draw. I shall indeed pay the 1, making this ever so bigger. When that token enters the battlefield, I will get another lovely +1/+1 counter for our Nesting Dovehawk here. And then I will spend a white and a red to cast a Spirited Companion. Enters the battlefield, draw a card. Cool. I will then tap the Plains to indeed grow our Nadir by a +1/+1 counter. Creating this lovely, lovely tentacle, putting another +1/+1 counter on Nesting Dovehawk, who's now a 5/5. Nadir Kraken is now a 7/8. Alright, So now I will tap the Spirited Companion, my Nesting Dovehawk, and 3 of these warriors. And I will convoke out Knight Errant of Eos. It is a 4/4 with Convoke, and when Knight Errant Eos enters the battlefield, so the enter the battlefield doesn't happen right now because we have a cast trigger from Khosla. Whenever I cast another spell that has Convoke, I shall scry 2. This is our scry. I'm personally going to put the mountain on the bottom and the Wand of the World so on top. Let me know how y'all would have done that in the comments. And make sure to subscribe, please. I've got more videos coming out soon that I'm pretty sure you don't want to miss. More Magic the Gathering content and more Transformers reviews coming soon. So now we draw a card, which is a Wand of the World Soul. And then he enters the battlefield. Since when he enters the battlefield, I look at the top 6 cards of my library. I may reveal up to 2 creature cards with mana value X or less from among them, where X is the number of creatures that convoked Knight Errant of Eos. Put the revealed cards into your hand, then shuffle. So we had 3 humans convoke, a Spirited Companion convoke, and a Nesting Dovehawk convoke. So we're going to look at the top 6. We have a Wildfire Awakener, Meeting of the Minds, Soul Ring, sadness, Whirlwind of Thought, very sad, Exotic Butters, and a Stoke the Flames. So, of course, there is only one creature that we are going to put into our hand. So, actually, hold on. Okay, so now I'm going to reveal out of this pile of 6 a Wildfire Awakener. That shall go to my hand, and then I shall shuffle my library. There we go. And now, since we have a bunch of spells with Convoke in our hand, what we're going to do is we're going to go straight to combat. Set our hand down. I'm fixing to sneeze. I'm going to attack with Khosla and Nadir Kraken. Or no, we're just going to attack with Khosla. Go ahead and give them that 5 extra commander damage, bringing them from 21 to 16, and they're at 15 commander damage. Really, really cool. So now what we're going to do is now we are going to... Oh wait, hold on. We're going to populate this dude here, bringing him up to 6. If I can find the bloody 6 on this thing. There we are. And that will give Nesting Dovehawk another +1/+1 counter. Get out of here, Lego. I can find them. Well, that'll work too. So now there is 4 +1/+1 counters on the Nesting Dovehawk. So now what we're going to do is we're going to tap Khosla, Knight Errant. So it's red, white, 6 of those, and one of those is paying for the generic, so it's 5 extra, 6 extra, 7 extra, 8 extra. So now we're going to cast Wildfire Awakener using its Convoke cost. So what we're going to do here is when Wildfire Awakener is cast, it checks to see if it has Convoke, which it does. Khosla ability will check the Wildfire Awakener to see if it had Convoke, and it does. So now we're going to scry 2. We have 2 lands. I'm putting those on the bottom, and I'm drawing a card. So now we're going to draw a card. It is a Shatter the Source. Really cool. So now Wildfire Awakener will enter the battlefield, and our X cost was equal to 8, was it? And now we're going to get 8 1/1 red elementals. And of course, when those enter the battlefield, Nesting Dovehawk's ability will go on the stack. Let me find 8 here. So we have 8 of these lovely elementals that have whenever this creature becomes tapped, it deals 1 damage to target player. Cool, so now we're going to move this die out of the way. Now we're going to grab a much bigger die. So Nesting Dovehawk already had 4 +1/+1 counters on it. 1 second, let me see if I can't find one more. There we are. Had 4 of those +1/+1 counters on it. So now it has a total of 8 more. So now it has a total of 12 +1/+1 counters. So it's now a 14. Or no. So it was already a 6/6 plus 8 more. Is a 14. Cool. Alrighty. Now we're going to check our hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And that is all we're going to do for this turn. So we're going to untap everything here. All of our non-token creatures will go on the bottom here. And we're going to untap our lands too. This is turn, I think 7. We're going to go ahead and put it at 8. Untap, upkeep. Oh, hold on, we're going to untap. Then upkeep. Anything triggers. I don't see anything triggering, so I will now draw my card for turn. And then we're going to pay the 1. Whenever we draw that card, put another +1/+1 counter on the Deer Kraken, putting another tentacle into play. And then we're going to put another +1/+1 counter on our Nesting Dovehawk. Alright. So here's what's going to happen. They are at 16. So we're going to go ahead and reduce that down to 10 real quick. Tapping 6 of those lovely elementals, dealing 6 damage to our opponent. We're going to cast Shatter the Source. It is Convoke for 5 in a red. Choose 1. Shatter the Source deals 6 damage to target creature, planeswalker, or battle, or destroy target artifact. Which is going to do the 6 damage to target battle, because in this deck I do have battles, and now decks do include battles. Specifically homebrew decks, no precons. And since that spell had Convoke, we're going to scry 2. I'm going to put the Arcane Signet on top and the Migratory Root on the bottom. And then we're going to draw a card. That resolves. Alright. Now what we're going to do here, spin 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, X is equal to 3. We're going to cast Path of the Ghost Hunter. I'm going to call it Path of the Ghostbuster from now on. So create X1/1 spirit creature tokens with flying. I can't speak today. And we're not going to worry about this bottom part because we are not playing Plane Chase. So we're going to create 3 of those lovely spirits with flying. Boom. So now there is 3 of those. When all 3 of those enter the battlefield, Nesting Dovehawk will get a +1/+1 counter, bringing it up to 16. And at this point, if someone tries removing it, I suggest, if you have it in hand, always using Ephemeral Shields. Alrighty, so now we're just going to go ahead and attack for game. There is our first game 1. So I will see y'all in part 2.